The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, a conflict that redrew the map. Spring, 1948, two locomotives raced toward the same crossing, one called Zionism, the other Arab nationalism. Only one set of rails. When they slammed together, the wreck didn't just twist metal, it bent the entire Middle East out of shape. Israelis celebrate the crash as the War of Independence, Palestinians mourn it as the nakba, the catastrophe. By the time the smoke cleared, one side had tripled the territory it had originally been offered, 750,000 Palestinians were homeless, and every border we still argue about was sketched in fire. 15 minutes is all we need. Ready? Let's roll. Section 1, the Tinderbox. Britain ran Palestine under a League of Nations mandate but played a double game. Arabs got promises of independence, Jews got promises of a homeland, same real estate, two sales receipts. After World War II, Holocaust survivors came in rickety ships, Arabs saw an unstoppable tide. London, broken battle-weary, tossed the keys to the United Nations. November 1947, the UN votes to slice the land, 56% Jewish state, 43% Arab state, Jerusalem an international city. Jews said, "We'll take the sliver." Arabs said, "No sliver, period." The Civil War began before the ink dried. Section 2, Civil War, Uncivil War December 47 to May 48, roadblock to roadblock bloodletting. Arab volunteers choked the Tel Aviv-Jerusalem road, Jewish militias answered with Operation Nokshon to pry it open. Roughly 1,000 dead per month, small by later standards, yet every corpse convinced both sides' coexistence was a fairy tale. Britain still pretended to govern but often handed its bases, and the weapons inside, straight to Arab forces, then sailed home. Section 3, the clock strikes May 14, Friday afternoon, Tel Aviv Museum, David Ben-Gurion reads the Declaration of Independence. 11 minutes later Truman recognizes the new state, Stalin tips his hat at dawn. That night 5 Arab armies storm in from every direction. Egyptian armor rolls north from Gaza, Britain-trained Jordanian legion strikes from the east, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq pile on. About 600,000 Jews versus 21,000 well-equipped Arab troops. The smart money predicted a walkover. The smart money was wrong. Section 4, the Battle for Jerusalem. Jerusalem turns into a medieval siege. Legion 25-pounders hammer the Jewish quarter, water convoys are ambushed in the hills. After brutal house-to-house fighting, the Legion expels the last Jewish residents and blows up centuries-old synagogues. Later, Israel's Operation Ha-Ha punches open the corridor, saving West Jerusalem. The city is split down the middle, half a capital, half a wound that will ache for another 19 years. Section 5, turning the tide. Month 1 looks hopeless for Israel. Jordan holds the West Bank, Egypt clings to Gaza and part of the Negev. Then momentum flips. A UN arms embargo hurts Arabs more. Britain cuts off the Legion just as Czechoslovakia ships rifles and Messerschmitts to Israel. Meanwhile, Israel mobilizes, the Haganah becomes the IDF, manpower triples, pilots take off from improvised cow pasture runways. Operations Yoav and Hiram slam into the Negev and Galilee, Lod and Ramah fall in 48 hours. Each offensive nudges the map until Israeli control jumps from 56% to 77% of mandatory Palestine. Section 6, ceasefires that didn't. The UN orders 3 ceasefires, June, July, January. Both sides treat them like half-time, run to the locker room, tape on a fresh layer of armor, sprint back onto the field. When the final armistice is signed in Rhodes, Israel keeps the Negev down to the Red Sea, a wide corridor to Jerusalem and Western Galilee. Gaza goes to Egypt, the West Bank and East Jerusalem to Jordan. A Palestinian Arab state vanishes, the word Palestine disappears from the atlas. Section 7, human numbers. Dull the pain, so here's the short version. About 6,000 Israelis, soldiers and civilians, die, roughly 1% of the population. Arab fatalities hover around 8,000. Around 700,000 Palestinian Arabs flee or are expelled, 400 plus of their villages are later bulldozed. Behind every statistic is a house key still swinging on a hook and an olive grove tended by new hands. Conclusion: lines in sand, lines in mines. The 1949 armistice agreement stopped the shooting but never ended the war, it just changed uniforms. The green line became the measuring tape for every future negotiation. Refugees and their grandchildren still wait in camps. Israel still patrols those same borders, now dressed up in concrete and sensors. Understanding 48 won't fix today's headlines, but it explains why every square inch of that skinny strip of land answers to two names, two histories, two dreams trying to share a single mattress. If this story just redrew the borders in your head, you know what to do. Subscribe for more history that refuses to stay buried.